Hello, I'm Alex Russell-Stoneham. I'm here today with beautiful Jenn Clark, an amazing artist.
Thank you.
And do you want to just introduce yourself quickly? Because we're talking about creativity, soulful expression today, co-creating with consciousness, right?
Yeah. So I am Jenn Clark. I'm an artist, and I feel like I can say that now with great power. So my art very much comes from the heart, and I paint with emotion and connect with the things around me, and it's very much a creative process. And just I think to be in that zone, to receive the creativity, you've really got to be kind of in tune with your inner self, and that's what we have been working on together over the past 9 months.
Yes, absolutely.
Which has been an incredible journey. Just to really kind of home in on what am I trying to put out there to the world, an expression, and it really helped with that.
Thank you, Jenn. Yeah, because when we're heart-based, it feels, when we're expressing our creativity through the heart, it feels unstoppable almost. It feels kind of radiant. It feels like bubbling. It really feels wonderful. And to we were talking about how to express and allow energy to flow through onto a canvas. So how would you say your creative process works? And how has it evolved as well?
And the creative process, when you're talking about this, it's like a light from within.
Beautiful.
And also kind of a light coming through as well. And it's just channeling that light. That is my creative process.
Wow.
And it's almost like painting with an unforeseen force. So a lot of my artwork as well, it's not necessarily using paintbrushes. It's about different ways of applying the paint, just to really kind of to give that depth and soul to the painting. And with my work, I do try to put as much light and joy onto the canvas and capture those moments. So it is just a case of channeling that light, and also I kind of go with it with the painting as well, and what kind of utensil I'm going to use, so whether it could be a silk screen squidgy, or a bit of wood there to apply the paint. And it's all about that kind of back and forth until I'm ready into a part of a painting. I was describing to a client, it almost pops, and I think you could see that in my work as well.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll show some in this video as well, bring some up on the screen, because that pop, there's that sort of, when you've just had your first show, that Surrey Art Fair, and just had a really lovely reception of your beautiful work, and people were really drawn to what you were showing and sharing, and that radiance and that pop and that joy that springs forth. And you lent me a beautiful book recently, the Joy book.
Yes.
And I've been reading it, and just that connection with joy, harnessing it, almost celebrating it.
Absolutely.
It just feels so uplifting. The colours you can associate, the textures, and your paintings, they have this really incredible texture to them, don't they? To see them, in person is amazing.
You're so kind, Alex.
So how did you know you were an artist? How did that even become a thing for you?
For me, well, from a child, I've always been very creative, and my life's path, I wouldn't say it's a complete prescriptive group of what you would call the tortured and pretentious artist. But I think that's why from art college I decided not to go down that route and get a proper job, as you call it. And for me, it's always been there. It's something within. It's a small flame, and you know, from leaving the corporate world and then starting my family, it's kind of never disappeared. And it's just got stronger and stronger. And having tried different things of like possibilities, what I could be doing. Again, it was like some force. It was like I need to do this. It's not a want, it's a need. I was like, I need to be able to paint. And and it's a way of like connecting with people as well, like with my, and connecting with the world. That's like really important and around me. And I think it's been a journey, because there's that kind of self-belief as well that you can do it. And as an artist, you're very much putting yourself onto the canvas, and it's been allowing yourself to be so vulnerable. And I was talking with some other artists at the weekend, and it's the same thing. It's just having that, being vulnerable. Like that's okay to be vulnerable. And art is very subjective and such a personal choice, but it's what it means to you, and the viewer, you will find the right viewer of your art, because what you put out there, it then comes back to you. So it's kind of letting go of that fear and being vulnerable, because it is an extension of you, and you will attract that viewer, and they will feel connected in it a way. So at the weekend I sold a piece of art. Yay. And it was magic. It was a magical moment, you know, for months of working on a piece. And this lady stopped and said, oh my goodness, I feel so connected to this piece. She kept coming back and forth, and it was the start of the show, and she just couldn't leave without it. Wow. And as an artist, I suppose everything you work on, you know, it's very much an internal process. And it was called Joyful Abundance, this piece. And it was joyful abundance at its best, and it was a happy place. And that's how she connected with it. And she was energized by that as well. And a lot of my work, it's not just painting. I want to give that energy. I want the same pulsating feeling that I have as an artist, and which has brought me to where I am today. That for people to experience that in my work as well.
It definitely felt that palpable feeling with your show, that it kind of emanates from your canvases, doesn't it? The feeling radiates, and you as the viewer can be open to receive that energy. It's very,
just to immerse yourself.
Beautiful. The feeling, it was kind of, it was just filling the room almost beyond space.
I really couldn't believe when people were like stopping in this huge art show and like just getting so much energy from your pieces. It was quite extraordinary, really.
Absolutely. And the thing you referenced before about when you were in art college, and you kind of took a sidestep going into the sort of corporate career.
I like that sidestep.
And it's just that it's a bit of a trope with that whole suffering artist, that sort of, you know, there's an opera La Boheme about like skint suffering, drinking at the bar artists who suffer for their art, or, you know, but they're a sort of team, and then you've got, you know, people who are clearly struggling, like the poet in Wales, Dylan, you know, and just you can see the beauty in the words, yet the fragility and the frailty, like because of the suffering that the artist has seen that they needed to go through in order to create the work. And there's an amazing book by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way, and the journey that she's been on, about how she believed she needed a few glugs of wine in order to create, and it wasn't a sustainable process for her. Just that loosening and accessing a sort of more putting the mind to one side and allowing your creative side. And she realized through her journey that the artist's way that she's charted is a beautiful process, where you allow yourself to write a morning pages journal of free writing, stream of consciousness, 3 sides of your journal a morning before you start the day, just whatever comes through your pen. And then you go on an artist date with yourself once a week, and you fill your own cup with something that brings you joy or makes you feel enriched. It could be watching an interior design show or going to an art gallery. And then there are these other processes that are very nourishing, because I think we're maybe hopefully moving beyond that belief that people need to struggle and suffer or go through stuff. It can be a joyful, abundant sort of experience, like your canvas.
I want to show that to the world, and I think that's always, for me, I've always kind of shied away from that artist that you call, and you don't have to be that person. You know, the world is a beautiful place, and around it, and you know, there are moments where maybe it's not so beautiful at times, but it's all about how we react to that and channel that energy. And I think within my work you can see that.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like little pockets as well, like, you know, the same make it pop and pockets, that when I paint I just feel there is so much in my paintings. It is this kind of little pocket of energy. Or
so and you also do some volunteering work at the local sort of beautiful art and community centre, South Hill Park.
Yes, I do.
In Bracknell, and it's that sort of giving back through creativity as well.
Absolutely.
And so if you're working with people who are just starting out on their art journey, if you like, co-creating with art, with consciousness, and celebrating that joyful feeling, how would you show them that? How would you help them just do those baby steps in that arena?
Yeah, I think what we were saying before, just allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's okay to put yourself out. I think that's the main thing. And be you, just be authentic you. Like that's, I think now I'm smiling so much, and back in the day at art college I was very much just Jen, but I'm just Jen and more, and this is who I am. And as an artist starting out, it's like, believe in yourself and who you are, and that you are putting yourself onto a canvas, and people do want to see that. And it's the people, again, it's all about connecting with the right viewers, so just don't be afraid to do that.
Absolutely. And that's really beautiful. And would you have any recommendations for how to get into that lovely state you've described of being yourself, being, you know, allowing things to come through you onto the canvas, trying different materials and ways of applying paint? What would you sort of help if you were just a way shower for somebody to practice that themselves in their own way?
I think really mindfulness and meditation, just allow yourself to get to the highest state. And I know we've kind of worked on that as well, to just get a true sense of who you are, and what you want to put out there. I think that would be my starting point. And I know certainly with some of my pieces, and it's about just going for it. And if you're feeling something and you want to put that on an idea or concept, just run with it. Don't procrastinate, which I think I was the queen of.
It does help us stay safe, doesn't it? That,
and again, it's just moving off that kind of safe space almost, and just going with it, and seeing what can come out of it. Because some really beautiful things can come out of that. As I say to my children, we've got this fab book called A Beautiful Oops, and it's all about how sometimes things might not go to plan. You know, you've dropped something, or a tear in a paper, but how you can make something out of that beautiful oops. And in a way, like, I think on my journey, how it's kind of evolved, and it's not an oops, it's something beautiful now, my work. and I'm just really embracing that.
That's beautiful, because it feels so expansive when you talk about it, and even touching on that beautiful loops. I remember with my creative journey just learning fairly early on, thankfully, that if you make a mistake, it's fine, and it can take you on another little journey.
Yeah, I love that.
And you can expand into that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the opposite of how a lot of people experience school and education, where they're somewhat told, if you make a mistake, oh, that's wrong, fix it. But actually, it's the route to creativity. It's the route to expansive ideation, research and design development. It's kind of, you need to trip, or you sometimes need to wobble sometimes, or have an oops, in order to have a new vista or a new little route through to whatever destination or journey you go on.
It's so true. And I'm actually working on a piece at the moment called Pathways, and it's very much about that, which I'm excited to share with you at some point.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, there's just a lot to be said. Just embrace it, and you know, and it's how you react to it as well. And yeah, just be bold. Don't procrastinate, and
and lead from the heart.
Lead from the always. That's where it comes at inner. Yeah. Absolutely, lead from the heart and feel with the heart as well.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Jen,
you.
for meeting and talking about your beautiful work and your creative process. And you know, it's heart and soul based work. You can just see it like that, and I'm just so excited for where this journey expands. Thank you.
Yeah, a huge thank you to you. I think we're going to be here all
We're going to
night.
hug.